What's up, people? I'm George, and this is the Collecting News, the show where I talk about the latest and greatest collectibles, from small figures and art prints to the big hulking statues you see behind me. Now, I bring it to you in a fun, fast, and easy to digest format, so get ready, because where we're going,
we don't need roads.
So we actually just got back from San Diego Comic-Con this past week. It was a blast. We had a lot of fun. We were there from the beginning to the end, to the final bell. Me and Calvin closed that thing down, and man, it was an experience. We have a ton of videos out there. There's still some that I'm putting out, but right now there's at least more than 7. I'd say close to 10. If you haven't been watching them, I don't know what you've been doing. Go to my channel right now. Go check that out. There's a lot of videos out there. I'm doing a lot of work for you guys. Check it out right now. Go, then come back. I got more stuff to talk about. All right. You did it? Okay, let's go. Let's do it. All right, so on this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than my normal collecting news show. We're going to do a little recap of San Diego Comic-Con. I'm going to give you my top 10 pieces from the event and then the best and the worst of the show. So without further ado, let's do this. So rounding out number 10 was the NECA booth with their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie collectible figure set. So this was actually pretty cool. They're a bunch of 7-inch figures, 4 of them. You get Michelangelo, Leonardo, Donatello, and Raphael. They all look just like the original movie from the 90s. So they actually already had come out with the quarter scale versions, and these are a smaller version for, those of you guys who don't want to collect the big ones. It's kind of cool. Comes in a box that looks just like the VHS of the movie when it came out back in the 90s. So I think that's dope. And they look really cool. They come with a bunch of different accessories, switch out hands, their weapons. They even have the bandanas that they could turn in different ways. I think they come with pizza boxes as well. And then as an added bonus, they have a kit that comes with the diorama. Now, the figures themselves, I think, ran around about $125, and then the full kit was about $250. But this thing was extremely popular. While I was there was a line pretty much the premiere night, Thursday night, and Friday before Saturday was sold out. So, yeah, there's no place to get it right now except for like eBay or secondhand, and people are charging a crazy amount of money for it. It's insane. But it was definitely pretty cool. So that was my first one. All right, so holding down number 9 was Hot Toys with a Corvus Glaive figure. Now, this is the guy from Infinity War. If you guys didn't know his name, I certainly didn't know his name. I just know him by look. And of all of the Hot Toys in the Hot Toys section, when I was walking by it, that one really jumped out at me. It looks the most like his movie counterpart. He's very tall for a 6-scale figure. And I liked it. It has a lot of cool detail. I like that it didn't have the joints showing, so you really couldn't see. It looked like a figure, more like a statue in that sense. I do think that, or I wish that Sideshow had the time to actually set up the figures in more of like a battle stance instead of just having them stand straight up and down. Because I think having them in some kind of a posed setting would add some like pizzazz to the whole thing. So I think that would have been kind of cool. Because all of the figures actually look pretty damn good. But, this one just overall just really stood out to me. All right, so ringing in number 8 was Kotobukiya with their Weapon X statue. So this is part of their fine art series. Now, the other fine arts have been done by Eric Sosa, so I'm assuming this one was done by him as well, although it didn't say that. It looked pretty damn cool. I really like the pose. He looks feral, like he's on the prowl, getting ready to hunt. It has a removable helmet so that you can see Wolverine is as Logan, the face, or you can have the mask on and he looks more like his actual Weapon X. And I like how the base looks. He has that snow base that he's on, and his claws are bare, and it just had a lot of cool detail. The hair on the arms, everything on it, I think was pretty good. Also, because it's a 6-scale figure, it's going to be a little bit easier to display for most people. It could definitely fit inside DTOF, so I think that's pretty good. And for most collectors that don't have a huge amount of space or the money for these big statues, it's a very nice starting statue. I think most of them run around $300, so it's not overly expensive. All right, hanging in at number 7 was PCS Collectibles with their Slain statue. Now, the PCS Collectibles booth wasn't very big at San Diego Comic-Con. It was actually only had 2 displays, and they had several pieces inside there. I was actually very excited to see Storm Shadow. I think that was pretty cool. But, Storm Shadow didn't have any paint on it, so, what really stood out was Slain. And Slain is an impressive piece without a doubt. It's done by one of my favorite sculptors, Caleb Nefsen, which I think that guy is phenomenal. and the statue just was adorned with infinite detail. I mean, you could sit there the entire day and just keep on staring at it and probably not catch everything that was on this piece. You know, he's very big. It's a quarter scale piece, but he's jumping in the air with the weapon, his sword, you know, over his head, and it stands out, almost looks like a third scale piece because of the height. The base looks really cool, and then it has this really nice detail ornate base at the bottom. So what's really cool, at least to me, is that I'm not very familiar with Slain. You know, I know he's part of that 2000 AD comic series that Judge Dredd came from, but you know, he's not a well-known character. Most of the people that I spoke to about him didn't even know who he was, but they all were drawn to the way that statue looks. So I think that's a testament to the artist. You know, it makes this guy just look awesome and makes you want to know more about him. So I think that's definitely something cool. I definitely want to read more about him now. So absolutely, that statue has to make the list. All right, then bringing in on number 6 was ECC. This is Elite Creature Collectibles with their Pennywise statue. Now, they had 2 Pennywise pieces there. One was a bust, but one was this huge statue. I want to say it was a third scale because it's actually pretty big. This thing looked gruesome, and they do a very good job with horror pieces and creatures and monsters. It's an awesome looking piece. You know, what I loved about it was that he was absolutely scary when you saw him. You know, he has the teeth baring, you know, looking like monstrous. He's there with a balloon on the hand. The paint application looked amazing. I really like that they have him inside of the sewer at the bottom, which is a throwback to the start of the movie. So I think that's pretty cool. You know, so you have him there at the bottom, but then you also have him on top, and it's just, it's a nice movie piece, especially for somebody who's into collecting horror statues. You know, these guys have made Freddy from Nightmare on Elm Street and Jason from Friday the 13th. And I think this is just another real good piece for you guys who like to collect horror statues. All right, and then coming in at number 5 was Sideshow Collectibles with their Doomsday statue. Now, their DC line looked phenomenal. There's so many good DC pieces that they had there. Everything from the animated series Batman, you know, all the way to their new premium format line, the Superman, the Wonder Woman. You know, they looked great. Really liked the way Green Arrow came out. That was phenomenal. You know, great job all the way around with most of the DC pieces. But Doomsday really, really stood out. He is huge. He's just a massive, massive maquette. You know, he's going to be bigger than Thanos, absolutely. And he's definitely got a lot more presence than even Thanos does. You know, he just looks like a beast, you know, there standing there and everything. Now, I know a lot of people, you know, are complaining that, you know, he doesn't look like the comic book version of him. But you know, to me, I didn't even care. He looked like the monster that I feel that Doomsday should be, you know? And definitely looks like somebody that could kick the shit out of Superman. So I think they did a good job with that. The details on him are insane. I really like all of the little Easter eggs that they put into it, you know, with the Justice League's weapons, you know, spread out. And, you know, you can tell that he just destroyed the Justice League and he's looking for his next victim. I wish they would have showed him with the exclusive portrait because I think that would have been a little bit more vibrant in the face, but that's definitely how I would display him if I had him. Yeah, he's great. Big piece, though. So definitely look for him. Looking forward to see what that's going to cost. But yeah, really, really cool to see that one in person. All right, holding down number 4 is Sideshow Collectibles with their Rogue statue from the X-Men. Now, the ladies of the X-Men look outstanding there at the convention. I really wasn't expecting that, especially after the images of Psylocke and White Queen, Emma Frost, when they came out. You know, everybody noticed that how they had a lot more masculinity in the portraits, but when you see them in person, it's an entirely different thing. They still have that strong appearance to them. You know, I'm not going to say that wasn't there, but when you walk around it and you actually see the face in its whole, and you're not just looking at a picture of it from below, it definitely had a lot of femininity in it. So, you know, they look very beautiful. Psylocke was an impressive piece, but Rogue just really jumped out at you. So what made Rogue so impressive is that, you know, of all of them, she's the only one that has the Danger Room base. So, you know, the base had this really nice color going on it, had the blue peering through, and looks like it was transforming as she's doing battle, and she's ripping out some kind of geared or electronic arm, you know, and she's suspended by it, which is really awesome. Very impressive to see how they're going to do that. Really interested to see how they're going to do that. So when I spoke to the guy at Sideshow, you know, he was telling me that that it's going to be something similar to the way they did with the Joker premium format, how they managed to get him side of the pogo stick and keep him balanced. They're going to do something like that. So some kind of long rod is going to have to be engineered into her to keep her like that. But it's an outstanding looking piece. Also, the PR manager was able to tell me that they're going to be putting, or the exclusive is going to be a classic 90s portrait. So she's going to have that curly hair that she has, that perm looking style hair. So I think that's going to look really cool. And they all but teased Gambit. So they said that something's going to be coming for New York Comic Con. That's got me excited. Now I definitely want to go to NYCC this year and see what they got. So all we can say is stay tuned for that. And then the 3 spot, we have the Sideshow Collectibles X23 statue. So this one was one of my favorites, absolutely. She is extremely beautiful. I love how the most impressive thing about to me is how I love how that ties into the Wolverine statue that I just picked up. The slide over here so you guys can see it back here. It ties into this great. I love how the base is a complete perfect match for Wolverine. You have 2 Sentinel hands, and they're the opposite hands of each other, so you can have them displayed side by side, and it could almost look like a diorama with them together. You know, she looks extremely beautiful in person, although she's like really angry and the hair's flowing, but in person that looks really good. You know, she has a lot of strength, but she looks absolutely feminine. You know, she has really nice detail. The abs in her stomach, you know, look great. You know, I like how she has the claws bare, that tentacle that's coming out of the hand. You know, it has a good position so that you could hold her up in that position very well. So I think that's really cool. Really nice engineering there. And, you know, she just has a really nice presence to her. So, yeah, she was a really cool piece. Can't wait to see when she comes out, because that's one that I'm going to have to pick up. And taking the 2 spot is Prime One Studios with their Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. Now, this thing was really cool. So, he was extremely big. You know, I want to say somewhere in the range of 36 to 40 inches, somewhere around there in height. He looked almost as tall as Superman. The Superman Hush is what I'm referring to. So he's very, very big. The detail in the statue was beyond impressive. I mean, you could sit there and look at all of the texture, the folds in the costume, even the rifle itself that he's holding in his hand. The wood looked like real wood in that gun. You know, it looked like that was like a real rifle that they put in there. It was really awesome. I think I saw somebody try to steal the rifle while they were there. So that was crazy. Can't believe somebody tried to do that. The base is really cool with this gargoyle, and it has these wings that spread out from behind him, and it looks like the wing spread is somewhere in the range of 24, maybe 25 inches. It looks pretty big. I don't think it could fit in a Besta at all. The detail on the stone made it look like real stone, you know, like paintwork and everything was amazing, and it just was a very, very impressive statue. Can't deny that of the Prime One Studios, that one was absolutely one of my favorite pieces to look at. All right, and then holding down the number 1 spot for me was Sideshow Collectibles with their Thor Breaker of Brimstone premium format figure. This is sculpted by Daniel Bell, and it is absolutely impressive. You know, of all of the premium formats, of all of the statues that Sideshow had there, this one had the most dynamic energy of all of them. You know, he's in the air. He's got, you know, Mjolnir. You know, I know I pronounce that wrong every time I say it. You know, I hear it all the time, but I just still cannot pronounce that name right. He's got it in his hand. The hammer's about ready to come down right on Surtur, and it looks fantastic. You know, with Surtur there in the base, it looks like a diorama almost, you know. And with all the flames and everything going around him, it just is a really, really cool looking piece. You know, it has a cape, a fabric cape. And a lot of people right now, or some people are saying that they're not digging it. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of fabric capes, but that one actually doesn't bother me. It actually works really well with him. I really wish it was sculpted still, but I could do the fabric cape for this one. So it's not bad at all. The only thing that I saw with this piece while I was at the convention was that I felt that the skin tone was a little bit off. You know, I felt that it had kind of an undead feel to it. But it's an awesome piece. So for those of you guys who did pre-order them today, kudos to you guys. Congratulations. You know, so, you know, it was definitely one of the best pieces out there. All right, so now it's time for the best and worst in the show. So I'm going to go with the worst first. The worst piece that I saw out there was Elite Creature Collectibles with their Kill Bill statue of Beatrice. So I didn't like this thing at all. you know, I'm not going to front. It was meant to look like Uma Thurman. It doesn't really look like Uma Thurman. You know, the hair made her look more like a Barbie doll. You know, and then when you see the other pieces that ECC had on display, she was the only one that was not a monster or creature. And this is what they're known for, you know, and I think that's probably why this one just falls short. I really think they should just stick to that because, you know, you do a great job with that. And I think that all of your creatures that you had there, all of the monsters that they had out there were absolutely stunning. One of the best, you know, looking monsters and creatures that you could possibly think of, you know, you can get from these guys. But that figure there, no, I don't know what they were thinking with that. All right, and then the best in show for me was the X-23 statue from Sideshow. Now, I know some people are going to say Thor. Thor was on the #1 list, like I said before. For me personally, I liked X-23. And reasoning is because I was not expecting her to look that good. You know, I saw the images of her before we went to the convention. I was kind of like on the fence a little bit, but not sold. You know, the face in the picture didn't really draw me. And then I get there and I was totally blown away by the way the statue looked. I really love that they had the forethought of taking and making this, you know, the great companion piece for the Wolverine. I like that these things are proximity bases for them, so they look like they compare together very well, but you can also separate them. So I think that's really cool. So she was the absolutely best for me. All right, so that was my thoughts on the pieces that I saw at San Diego Comic-Con. What was your favorite pieces from the convention? Let me know in the comments. Now, remember, we're going to be having our 3.5K giveaway coming here very soon. We're less than 20 people away from getting to that mark. And once we do, we're going to have a giveaway for you guys, and we'll let you know what you got to do to participate. So definitely get me to 3.5K. We're almost there. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Please comment. Give us a like if you like this video. And ding that bell to get notified when more videos pop up. Now, you can catch more videos like this at mcecentral.com, as well as more information and news on all things collecting and all things pop culture and all things geek, really. So definitely head over there if you're interested in anything like that. You can catch more episodes like this coming real soon for you guys. So stay tuned for all of that. And until next time,
keep it marvelous.